Oh, wow! That is...
ShinRobjira.
They say that springtime, March, April, May, is the rejuvenation process of planet Earth. They say that is when the Earth starts to come back to life from the death of winter, and everything starts going even more to shit because it gets hot out and all that other stuff. But anyway, rejuvenation, resurrection, Rihanna, reissues, retooling. Oh yeah, boy, we are here. NECA's reissue, re-release, and retooling of the Godzilla 1985 figure is finally here, and I'm just going to let the mutated cat out of the bag right now. NECA did it. NECA absolutely did it. They made my boy fantastic. Now that's enough of my mug, let's get to reviewing. Godzilla 1985, Godzilla 1984, The Return of Godzilla. NECA's Godzilla 1985 figure is back, and he is absolutely better than he's ever been. It's the best he's ever been. Now, like I said earlier, I really don't think the original release of the figure was too far off from being the best figure it could be. It's just very evident that there was some rushing in there. I might have said different in a past review of this figure, and if I have, you can call me out on it right now, but opinions change. Anyway, before I get to talking about this figure, let's talk about the box, because the box is very nice. On the front of the box, we have this fantastic poster from Godzilla 1985/4. There's it from the colors to the explosions to all them people running down there. This is such a cool frickin' poster. Turning the box to its side, you get the same poster, just smaller. Godzilla, The Return of Godzilla, 65 years, 1954 through 2019. And on the back, we get a couple pictures of this figure, and we get a little bit of a read-up. The legend is reborn. The reappearance of the world's most dangerous monster, 30 years after it destroyed Tokyo, risks a catastrophic showdown between the US and Russia, with Japan caught in the middle. With Godzilla in the heart of Tokyo, something must be done to stop it. But will Japan's defense vehicle, the Super X, be enough to end Godzilla's rampage? Or is there another way? You know, they make that sound so humane, like dropping Godzilla into a volcano and hearing him screonk out in pain and in fear is so much better. Super X3, more like couldn't be me. Opening the box up gives us a picture of the figure and this very, very nice backdrop. From every angle, that backdrop is very nice, and it's just coated in Technicolor colors. I love it. But anyway, back to the figure. Now this video is going to double as both a figure review and a figure comparison, just because I have talked about this figure before, links in the description. It's just this time, he's got some new tricks up his sleeve. We're going to be covering everything, don't worry. But at first, let's take a look at that comparison. Right up front, the differences between these two figures are going to be very obvious. The base coat for the new 85 is a lot like NECA's last release, the Godzilla 1964 figure. You know, mostly gray with a lighter gray to really bring out the scaling and such. This figure is much more dark in its base coat and has more of this bluish hue to him. You will also realize that the dorsal fins on the neck have been changed. The original 1985 NECA Goji had these very forkish looking dorsal fins on the back of his neck. They were small, they didn't look too good, but they were there. Meanwhile, on the new boy, we have a much more chunkier look to the dorsal fins on his neck. They're a lot bigger, they're painted for the most part. No sir, it is 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. Since we're talking about their necks, we might as well be talking about their heads as well. You're going to see a different paint color on Godzilla's teeth. New 85, he's pearly white. Original release 85, he's got more gunk, more aging to his teeth. And I don't know if I'm going crazy here, but new 85's lower jaw looks longer than the originals. You see what I'm saying? This guy's jaw definitely looks longer. I don't know, maybe I'm just going insane. Looking at the new 1985's mouth, it doesn't have as much wash in it as the original did. The tongue's got a bit of shading in the center, but other than that, the inside of the jaw is pretty much untouched in terms of shading. But if you look up a tick, you see a lot more shading on the roof of Godzilla's mouth. And I guess I might as well sidetrack into this because I know somebody's going to ask. Atomic Blast GMK. No. 1963 Goji. No. 64 Goji. No. And I'm not even going to bother with the KOTM Atomic Blast version because you need a tongue to hold that in, and this guy's tongue is fused to the bottom of his mouth. I'd say the upper portion of his jaw has less shading than the newer one, but I'm sure somebody will see different. Now, before I move on to the other area that got the obvious major update, I do want to talk about the head because I feel like the head might have been slightly updated. I don't know if you can tell, but the area that meets the neck on the new boy, it just flows a different way as compared to the older one. I don't know, maybe it's just getting lost in the paint or the detail or whatever, but this just looks like it has more to it. I'm not saying it's going to be a major sell point, but it definitely looks like NECA fixed some stuff up there. Totally forgot this guy had another dorsal fin over here. Maybe I am crazy. These just look different to me, I don't know. Comment down below if you think I'm crazy. Anyway, moving on. The other major update that this figure received was in the dorsal plates, and wow, I mean, look at the difference here. They not only just look better, because, I mean, look at this, but then look at this. They feel better and not so cheap, and they look a ton more accurate. And check this out. Damn, boy! Them dorsal fins is... Yeah, this is definitely a huge upgrade for the dorsal fins. I mean, I really did wonder why these came out so thin and flimsy. I do think it might have been the figure being rushed out. I'm not too sure because the other Godzilla figures were not like this. They absolutely were not. But here, oh my god. I have to zoom in on this. Hold up. Just look at that. The color, the detail, everything. It just looks so much better. So much better. I mean, that looks like skin. This looks like bone protruding out of the skin. It doesn't look like this looks natural. This looks organic. This has so much better details in paint. My giant center dorsal fin back here is a little warped. As you can see, the top part is a little crooked, but I don't care. These dorsal fins look too dang good to be upset over one being slightly bent. Some would even say it's suit accurate. You might be thinking, oh, that's it. No, the dorsal plates on the tail were updated as well. At least these were. I mean, look at this, and then look at this. This, then this. It's a subtle but extremely welcome change between the two. And it shows NECA means business. This is prime definition of a retool. Like, that's amazing. No gaps. The only thing that might upset some people though is the return of the NECA bendy wire, but I don't have a problem with it. Alright, let's finish off this comparison and get into articulation. Believe it or not, NECA went as far as to even redo the hands on this figure. They're much bigger. I mean, look at that. The fingers are much more spread out now, and it looks a lot more natural. It looks more like Godzilla's about to claw something and not pick up a beer. Although I can't knock him for wanting a beer. While I'm talking about the hands, I might as well talk about how the fingernails are different colors now too. The fingernails on the newer boy are a lot more brown. Same thing for the toenails. Although the aging on the toenails for the original figure I think look a lot better than this because this is just one solid color. This has multiple colors going on. But this is in line with how the nails look, unlike on the original 1985 figure where they barely have a lot of that aging. I mean, it's there, but it's clearly not that noticeable. This concludes the comparison portion of the review. Now let's get into articulation, and I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Swivel at the head, open and close at the jaw, swivel at the neck, arms can go all the way around, arms can go all the way around at the elbow, both arms can move up and down, like so. Now wait a second, one more new feature has been added to this figure. A swivel at the wrist, but a bend at the wrist as well. NECA are just too kind, look at that. Very welcomed addition to this figure. We're gonna have a spin at the torso. No really back and forth movement from this thing, very slight. Leg can go all the way around, like so. We've got a swivel at the knee, which was working for me before, and of course isn't now. Bend at the knee. I said we have a bend at the knee, in and out. Out and in. The foot can also spin at the ankle, giving you a semi-decent pivot as well. We have decent articulation in the tail. These tails really still can hold a decent pose, but they still droop. And then of course we have a ball joint over here holding the bendy wire portion of the tail in place, and bendy wire. Honestly, not a bad thing. This is actually a pretty decent bendy wire. Now hold on. I ain't done yet. In between Godzilla's fat rolls over here, we actually do get some glossy paint. I first noticed it over here and I thought that it was an error, but then I turned the figure this way and I noticed that they're in all of the major rolls from the bottom of the torso to the legs. It's like that over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, and over here. It's a nice little attention to detail and I almost missed it. I almost marked it off as just a pure error, but no, it's a thing, and it looks good. And that's pretty much that. Now it's time for the size comparison. OG85, NECA NES Godzilla, Stiff Boy 64, Wind and Walk Bootleg Godzilla, Bandai Biolante, hold on, 13-inch Imperial Godzilla, and not sure if official or fake, Fred the Red Pikmin. And that's about going to wrap this figure review up, everybody. And that's it. That's the comparison, that's the review. You know everything about this figure now, so let's cut back to my mug and I can end this video off for you lot. I really have to tip my non-existent hat to NECA on this release because they absolutely knocked this out of the park. The funny thing is, 1985 Goji is said to be their worst Godzilla figure ever. But at the end of the day, the figure really wasn't that far from being the best figure it could be. But that doesn't matter now because now he is the best figure he can be. Seriously, this is a top tier retooling. And like I said earlier, I know it might upset some people that the tip of the tail is the classic bendy wire, but I've never felt more confident in bending a bendy wire. But anyway, I have been ShinRobjira. I do hope you enjoyed my review of the retooled Godzilla 1985 figure from NECA. If you enjoyed this video, why not leave a like? Maybe hit the subscribe button. And in the description below are a bunch of links to a bunch of other pages that I currently run. I also have a Patreon page if you like this content enough to, throw $1 or $2 my way. You can do that. You'll get rewards for that. I also stream extremely frequently on Twitch. So if you want to come and interact with me and watch me play games, either decently or terribly, you should go check that out. Anyway, me, ShinRobjira. He, absolutely fantastic. I will see you next time. I don't know what all this was doing, but watch out, Madonna. Your boy got moves.